The word of the Lord came to a prophet named Jonah. Go to the great city of Nineveh and cry out against it, for its wickedness has come up before me. It was a simple command. Jonah heard it clearly, and then Jonah did the unthinkable. He ran. Instead of going east to Nineveh, he went west, down to the coast, where he found a ship bound in the opposite direction, paid the fare, and went aboard, fleeing, the text says, from the presence of the Lord. Nineveh was the capital of Assyria, a violent empire, feared and hated, the enemy of Jonah's people. And later in the story, Jonah tells God exactly why he ran. It was not the danger, it was the fear that God would forgive them. He would rather flee to the ends of the earth than watch his enemies be spared. But the Lord sent a great wind upon the sea. A storm rose so violent that the ship threatened to break apart. The sailors were terrified. Each cried out to his own god. They threw the cargo overboard to lighten the ship. And where was Jonah? Below deck, fast asleep. The captain found him and woke him. How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will save us. The sailors cast lots to find who was to blame for this disaster. And the lot fell on Jonah. Who are you? They demanded. What have you done? And Jonah told them the truth, that he was a Hebrew who worshipped the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land, and that he was running from him. The sailors were terrified. What have you done? For the sea grew wilder with every moment. What should we do to you, they asked, to make the sea calm? And Jonah answered, Pick me up and throw me into the sea. Then it will become calm. For I know that this great storm has come because of me. For the first time in the story, Jonah stopped running and named the cost. The sailors did not want to. They rowed harder, trying to reach land, but they could not. At last, they cried out to Jonah's God for mercy and threw him into the raging sea. And the sea grew calm, and the sailors, who had each prayed to their own gods, now feared the Lord. Jonah sank beneath the waves, and then the Lord provided a great fish to swallow him. And Jonah was inside the fish, in the dark, in the deep, for 3 days and 3 nights. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol, I cried for help, and you heard my voice. The waters closed over me. Seaweed wrapped around my head. I sank down to the roots of the mountains. But you brought my life up from the pit. When my life was fading away, I remembered the Lord. Salvation, he said, belongs to the Lord alone. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim the message I give you. This time, Jonah went. Jonah walked into the great city and cried out a stark warning. 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown. And something happened that Jonah never expected and never wanted. The people believed God. From the greatest to the least, they turned from their evil. Even the king rose from his throne, took off his robes, and called the whole city to repent. And God saw what they did, how they turned from their wicked ways, and he relented from the disaster he had said he would bring. You might expect Jonah to rejoice. Instead, he was furious. He prayed, but not in gratitude. Lord, isn't this what I said would happen? This is why I ran. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending disaster. He was angry that God had been merciful. and God asked him a quiet question. Is it right for you to be angry? Jonah went outside the city and sat down to watch, still hoping it might be destroyed. God caused a leafy plant to grow and shade him, and Jonah was glad of it. But the next day, the plant withered, and Jonah, in the scorching heat, wanted to die. You care about this plant, God said, though you did nothing to grow it. It came and went in a day. Should I not care about Nineveh, a great city of more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left? And there the book ends, on a question. Jonah never answers, because the question was never really for Jonah. It was for us. Jonah's story is not really about a fish. The fish takes up 3 verses. The story is about a man who was glad to receive mercy and furious to see it given to someone else. God pursued Jonah across a sea, into the dark and out again, not only to save a city, but to change the heart of the prophet who resented its rescue. The question God left hanging over Jonah hangs over everyone who has ever wanted mercy for themselves and judgment for their enemies. If this story moved you, the rest of the ancient scroll is waiting.